Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Watkins Glen International Speedway. It's Murph, it's Collins, and we're here for the Monday Night Indy Open top split from one of the classic race courses in the United States, Watkins Glen International. Jacob, it feels so good to be at such a classic track such as this.
Yeah, it's classic North American auto racing here from the forest-filled Watkins Glen International. Many trees around this facility. Nice to see some greenery for a change as we've made our trip across the continent the last couple weeks.
It most certainly is. This could be more or less called Road America East. It is a blast through the forests in New York. It is very fast. It is very flowing. There is one chicane, and so I get to be mad about that. But otherwise, a beautiful, fast-flowing course. It was originally built in 1956, Jacob. The track, though, or the race here, dates back to 1948. It was a street race of all things.
As many races tend to do, they were like, let's get these guys off the streets and give them a place to have some fun. And that's how we end up with racetracks.
It is indeed. And so we are here, and we are going to very much enjoy our time. We're getting through qualifying at the moment. We do have a full field, Jacob, on hand to take part in tonight's festivities. 20 by my count, 23 cars signed in for this evening.
Yes, indeed. And I think the biggest surprise we've got on here tonight is Kevin Burrell is the number 2 car.
Yeah. Anytime you see Kevin as the number 2, you know you've got a stout field. His I rating eclipsed by JT Smeaton. Now that's not a name that we have been familiar with. But I assume that we're going to see a lot more of him. With a minute 26 left in qualifying, Kevin Burrell, the general, does have the pole position.
Yeah, a couple cars still circulating the track trying to put a time down. Smeaton among them. We'll see if he's able to dethrone at the top of the timing sheet. But overall, a fairly sizable spread top to bottom as Alan Berteau will now take provisional pole.
Does indeed. Right now, we are looking at Alan Berteau with a 125, 193. The general, Kevin Burrell, right on his heels. The two fiercely Ford machines, first and second. Smeaton may not get a lap in. He may not get a lap in. There he goes, and Smeaton goes to the top of the board. Do want to thank everybody for joining in. If you haven't already done it, make sure you smash the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to P1. We do this on behalf of the community, and so if you'd like, you can also contribute using the GoFundMe link in the chat. We have got a grid, Jacob. How about that?
Let's get ready to go.
What is it? Kick the tires and light the fires?
Works for me.
Ha ha. On the pole, it's going to be JT Smeaton, 125.090. Alan Berteau to his outside, minute 25, 193. Kevin Burrell, the general, he'll be joined by Anna Klimek in row number 2. Logan Edwards, Leon Flugiger will make up row number 3. PJ Sturgios, that's a name that we haven't heard before. Jacob, he'll go 7th. Sophia Connell is 8th. Former series champion Rashad Craig will roll 9th. Next to Hunter Ingrav in 10th. 11th will be Alistar Khan. Blaze Andrich will go from 12th. He'll have Shady Ahmed and Titus Sherlock behind him. Caleb Brashear, the Sim Gaming Expo King. 15th, Michael Costello. 16th, Alexander Miller. Nigel Honiger will make up row 9. And row 10, it'll be Robert Tang and David Hinger. In 21st, Indy Kirkenbauer, The Prodigy makes a return to the top split on road. Tyler Green will start 22nd, and Will Weiser, well, Will Weiser did not record a time, Jacob. He is going to go shotgun on the field.
He's going to have his work cut out for him for certain, but this track's very much one that if you can kind of work your way slowly but surely through the field, you can work your way back through it. If you've got the car underneath you, we'll see if Will Weiser can mount the charge from the back of the field here tonight.
Yeah, we're going to see if he can do it. We've got a full field lined up and ready to go. 37 laps here at Road America, or at Watkins Glen. I almost called it Road America. That's how similar they are. But we're getting ready to have a fun night. This is going to be, as I understand it, Jacob, this may be a 3-stopper.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me given how much on the loud pedal you are around here. And one thing that I would like to point out, Mark, is that Road America is not cursed by a chicane in its normal configuration, unlike this track at its modern day age. So we can quickly separate that alongside the wall color being the big distinguishing factor. We got some nice blue around here.
You know, I'll tell you this, Jacob, and I do want to. I do mean this in all sincerity. I forgot to turn off my. My voice chat. I was in a race last night, and so I forgot to turn off my voice chat, and so we'll go ahead and do that. But this track does not normally, in its normal configuration, I will dispute that all day long. In its normal configuration, this track does not have a chicane, Jacob Collins. It only has a chicane. It only has a chicane after one was added, and of course that is the bus stop right here as they go through it, the inner loop, as it were. That was added in the 1990s in response to multiple large crashes down at the outer loop, turn number 5, also known as the carousel. There was a huge off by Tommy Kendall in a sports car called the Intrepid. Went off down here, broke a lot of his body. Of course, J.D. McDuffie crashed heavily and lost his life at this corner. And so they put in the inner loop in the early 90s to kind of slow the cars down. But you get out of this inner loop, turn number 5, and you come into the boot. Now this is an extension, Jacob. This was built in 1971 for the Formula One cars.
Yeah, and it certainly feels like an addition to the course. You know, you kind of transition down a bit of a hill, head off into the start of that through the left-hander. Will watch drivers head towards the toe here. And that's kind of an uphill ascent. You might not be able to immediately distinguish that looking at it from the air, but it is a bit of an uphill through there, and one that's at a very awkward angle, as is the heel that we'll be progressing to. And then I think one of the most tricky corners on this whole track is that one that connects this portion back to the main section of the course. Very easy to slip the car out from underneath you and send you out into the outside wall.
Yeah, Jacob, you're talking about turn number 9. They're in 8 now. Number 9, as you get to it, it is very, very, very tricky. You're coming up the hill. You're unloading to the left. You're in second gear, and you can light the rear tires up in a hurry over there and go right on around. All of that, though, furthest from the drivers' minds. They're going to come through turn number 11. The pace car is going to come away. Barney is going to throw the green flag, and we are going to be underway here at Watkins Glen. 37 laps of iRacing INDYCAR Open Series top split action is green.
A solid start for Smeaton in the two fiercely forward cars. They're going to clear Anna Clemic, who'll stay just to the outside of Kevin Burrell heading off into turn 1 here, and they'll get out single file for the first 5 or 6 cars.
They most certainly will. The nearest battle is back this way. That is PJ Sturgios and Leon Flugiker. They're going at it 6th and 7th. Everybody files through, and we are clean and green. We've got trouble. Trouble in the back of the field. Alistar Khan, Robert Tang, big accident. Caleb Brashear is on his lid, Jacob.
Yeah, trying to hunt down where that started. It looks like somebody got loose coming up through the S's at some point.
We're gonna need to go back and find that. Caleb Brashear, an absolutely wild ride going through the S's. Here we go. He's racing next to number 17. That's Michael J. Costello. And let's see what we can see here, Jacob. Up the S's they go. And is that...
It's like maybe Alistar Khan gets spun around on his own.
Yeah, that started well in front of Brashear. There's the car of Alistar Khan, the number 14. That's the Coyote Orange car as they file up through the S's, and there he goes. He just goes around on his own. You're exactly right. Gets it, backs it into the fence, and Brashear, Michael Costello, and Alexander Miller just nowhere to go. And Caleb Brashear gets the worst of that by far. He is going to be out of the race. The lead is being swapped. Alan Bruteau, JT Sneaton going after it. The general Kevin Burrell watches on from third.
Yeah, we saw Bruteau mount the charge up the hill here, and Smeaton's going to end up under fire from that fiercely forward car to Kevin Burrell as well. We'll see if he's able to hold on to it through the boot section here.
He's going to give it a shot. Smeaton looking mighty racy in that number 1 machine. It is worth noting that everybody started out on the black primary tires, Jacob. We have only one taker on the red alternates, and it's this man, Indy Kirkenbauer. Indy has the Prodigies decided to take a stab on the alternates.
Well, you figure if you're that deep in the field, you might as well try something, right? And he's obviously made a good way through the field through that early attrition, through the incident we just kind of watched through. And maybe that'll give him an opportunity to be able to get into a position here to make the most of those red alternates as he's kind of in the thick of the field now.
Yeah, he is. Indy Kirkenbauer, the number 20 out of 23 cars, started this race. He gets a free 4 spots from the Khan, Brashear, Costello, Miller fracas. Alan Bruteau sets the quickest lap thus far, but Indy Kirkenbauer, I mean, he's got a shot at it, Jacob. He's made up by my reckoning here. The Prodigy's made up 7 spots in the first 3 laps. So good for Indy.
And he'll slowly start to work his way forward through the field. The big thing here is being able to maintain the draft, right? Given how long the straightaways are, if you can kind of hang even keel through the twisty bits, through this kind of boot section of the track here and work your way back towards that long straightaway coming off turn 1, basically work your way through the S's down towards the bus stop chicane, that can do you wonders throughout the course of this race.
Yeah, it most certainly can. Kirkenbauer now pulling up on the back of Shady Ahmed. We're going to hop right on board with the Prodigy, Indy Kirkenbauer, as he continues his pursuit of Shady Ahmed. Now, the way that I understood is that we're going to see a 2-stopper here. We're going to see most drivers opt for 2 sets of alternates, or 2 sets of primaries, and 1 set of alternates. Kind of got the feeling that there may be some guys that do something different. Indy Kirkenbauer, well, Indy was the one that did something different, and he is going to the front. 7 spots already, and he's looking for number 8.
Yeah, and I think the big thing to keep in mind here is just how much these drivers are having to slow these cars down for the few corners that there are on this track, right? With as high speed as you're heading through down this very, very long back straightaway here towards that chicane, they call it a bus stop for a reason. Drivers are dropping, 50, 60 miles an hour as they progress through that. And that's not easy on the tires in the slightest. So very much one of those indications of drivers having to really, really commit through these corners is that tire wear.
It is a hard corner. It's a hard corner to get right. Do want to welcome ML Schelling into the chat. BB4582, Apex Chris. And you're nodding 97-95. We've got a lot of people watching this race right now. If you haven't already done it, make sure you smash the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to P1 so that you can be notified of all future iRacing action. You're watching the Indy Open Series on P1 Broadcasting. This is the top split. You're looking at Indy Kirkenbauer, who is all over the back of Shady Ahmed, and there we're going to get in the right eyeball of Indy. He's the only one on those red alternate tires. He's making them work, Jacob.
Yeah, and the important thing to keep in mind here is that these red alternates will start to fade likely after these first couple laps are hit. So his advantageous opportunity here is going to come at an end quicker than he thinks. So he's got to make the most of it while he's still got kind of the prime life of those tires, even if they are the alternates, to work his way forward.
Yeah, I was talking with some of our Alliance teammates, Rashad Craig in particular, earlier before this race, and he had indicated that the red alternate tires might, Jacob, only be good for somewhere around 5 or 6 laps, and then you were going to see them fade. A lot of the drivers that I talked to, they were only intending to run the alternates for 7 laps. They had hoped to split this up 15, 15, and 7. And so if that's the case, Indy may be in a situation in that Votive Racing League machine where he is just about ready to hit pit lane further up the field. Blaze Andrich has started to move forward. There you see Blaze. He is in 10th. He is in hot pursuit of Rashad Craig in 9th and Leon Flugaker just up the road in 8th. This has been a pretty good battle, and they've got Hunter Ingrav right behind them, and Hunter is in yet another livery that I have not seen, Jacob. I can't keep track of all of his cars.
Yeah, he likes playing a bit of a spin the wheel on the liveries week to week, so he's certainly given us another good one here.
He most certainly has. That's Hunter Ingrav, now right behind the car of Blaze Andrich. Have a look off the gearbox of that number 9 machine. Looking back at number 13, Hunter Ingrav, the 2 Rogue Racing teammates do battle. You'll see the push to pass light up on the scoring pylon. That is indicative of when the drivers are on push to pass. We do not have an indicator for the hybrid. So we won't necessarily know when they're on that, but we do see when they're on the push to pass. You get 200 seconds, and right now, Jacob, the guys at the front are using that button pretty liberally.
Well, I think the big thing that they're trying to get figured out here is kind of a breakaway strategy from the rest of the field here. You know, you look at the likes of, the top 3 or 4 here. They're starting to slowly inch their way forward. Burrell and Brutteau kind of out to the biggest gap at the front here, but I think the rest of these guys are kind of having to try to think is just how much are they going to try to break away from the rest of that field behind them, so when the pit cycle comes, they're able to take advantage and use that to their advantage even further.
Yeah, they do. And look, there you see the gap. It's 1.2 seconds back to JT Smeaton, and we've got some JT Smeaton fans in the stands, and there's JT in the Luke Mansky Racing Esports number 1, 79-16 on the iRating. That's pretty stout, Jacob. But there's Smeaton. He runs along in 3rd. Anna the Deer is 4th, and there she is in the Taylor Mills Racing entry. And right behind them, you've got Logan Edwards, the old narc brain. He can do it in the cab. He can do it in the open wheelers. Multi-race winner in the AMA series that will be restarting Thursday and Friday nights here in just a few weeks. But there he rolls along in 5th. And then in 6th is another name that we have not seen. This is the number 3 car. We have not seen this name before, but PJ Sturgios runs along in 6th, Jacob.
Yeah, I would just like to keep updated. We were talking about how Indy would be trying to peel down the pit lane early here. He has done so now onto lap number 7, so he's likely looking to do a similar split to the way we outlined it before. 15-15 on both sets of primaries, and then just that 7 laps on the alternates.
Now, as we ride on board with Indy Kirkenbauer, Jacob, what is the advantage for him starting early on the red alternate tires, and then he's going to come out, he's by himself? Is that an advantage or a disadvantage here?
Well, I'd suspect here it's a disadvantage, right? He's going to get out of the draft. He's going to be on his own. He's not going to have cars able to pull him along just that extra little bit. But what he will have is have that alternate stint out of the way, and he won't have the the large amount of fall off somebody may have late in the going. But I think with just how short that alternate stint is, you're not really going to see that to quite the extent you might if we were only doing single stops around here.
There you go. Indy Kirkenbauer has already made his first stop. Do want to come back to this Rashad Craig, Leon Flugiker, Blaze Andrich tussle. This is the best battle on the track. Rashad Craig all over the back. All over the back of Leon Flugiker, and he's going to flash to the outside, headed for the bus stop, Jacob.
He's going to put his car there, back out of it just before the corner. That's going to slow his momentum down as Andrich is going to close up to the back of him, but Rashad's going to hold on to the spot.
Yeah, and they've invited Titus Sherlock to the party. Titus Sherlock is the number 10 machine. He is immediately behind Hunter Ingrav, and so this is really a 5-car scrap now. Well, make that 6. Shady Ahmed has started to pull in on the back of this train. I think Rashad, Blaze, Hunter Ingrav, I think they all might be faster than the car of Leon Flugiker. They just can't find a way past at this point.
Well, some of that, too, might just be being in the tow, right? You know, Leon's about 2 seconds back of Sophie Connell in the 7th spot, and that's not going to help him quite as much as these cars being as close to behind him, right? So they're able to take advantage of a draft effect. You know, they've got that hybrid to kind of pump them out of the corners on top of the push-to-pass. There's just so many options that these guys, you know, 2nd, 3rd, 4th in a train have that aren't really being able to be taken full advantage of by Leon ahead of them.
Well, here's the thing, Leon. If you want to look at his his arrow screen, you see that spec up there, that Sophie Connell. Leon Flugiker is 2.3 seconds behind Sophie. He was 0.8 of a second slower that last lap. He has lost the draft, and so that's going to make him a sitting duck for these cars behind him. Rashad Craig pulls all the way up on the back of Leon Flugiker. Can't quite get it done. Anna Klimek. Is Anna off, or is she having a connection issue, Jacob?
I'm not sure. We'll see if we can try to figure that out, but she is rapidly falling down the order as it stands.
There she goes. So she snaps. She has snapped back into 4th spot. Anna Klimek has. We can assure you the Deer is still with us. M. Schelling wants to know, is push-to-pass basically DRS, but you're limited to a certain number of seconds? So push-to-pass in an IndyCar is very simple. The cars have, and you see Anna Klimek appearing and reappearing and disappearing, and so there may be some connection issues on that number 12 machine. We'll keep everybody posted on that. Push-to-pass is very simple. The ECUs in the car, at the push of a button, will trigger an extra 50 horsepower from the turbochargers. And so they have 200 seconds of that. They can use the 200 seconds in any way they wish. It is not limited, as DRS is, to being within a certain gap to the car in front of you. You use it any way you like. But once the 200 seconds are up, you're done. The hybrid is a little bit different in the IndyCar. It's in that you can deploy a certain amount of energy each lap. And if we get on the roll bar of Logan Edwards, if you look at it, and they won't be illuminated here, of course, but those light systems on the left and the right side of the cowl, just above the driver's hands, that indicates how much hybrid is left. And then the bar across the top of the steering wheel under where it says Cosworth, that shows you how much of your lap's allotment you have used. You can use those systems together. You can use them separately, but you only get 200 seconds of push to pass. Hope that answers your questions.
Yeah, typically, for at least what we've kind of understood of it, particularly on the road courses, is drivers are kind of using those systems in tandem. You know, you're maybe using one to build up the speed off the corner and then using the other to kind of finish off a longer straightaway. We'll likely see drivers using a good bit of it, good bit of both, coming off turn number 1, heading off up the hill and down that back straightaway.
Well, I can tell you that Rashad Craig is husbanding his push to pass when compared to Leon Flugiker. Flugiker has used an additional 20 seconds. He's on the button now, and he's down to 150 seconds. Rashad in that draft saving the button. Flugiker down to 148 seconds already here in the early going, and he can't really do anything but use that to defend. Rashad Craig all snugged up in the draft. They have dropped Blaze Andrich, Hunter Ingrab, Shady Ahmed, Titus Sherlock, by the way, has moved into the 11th spot. But these cars are absolutely they're absolutely shedding time to Sophia Connell, another 10th that time through. Do want to thank everybody for tuning it in. You are watching the Indy Open Series Top Split live here on the P1 Broadcasting Channel. We have sad news to report, Jacob.
Yes.
We have sad news. Clindy has sent it too hard in the second split and has joined us in the chat. We're sorry to hear that, Clindy. That is no fun. But we do have a big crowd on hand. If you haven't already done it, make sure you smash the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to P1 so that you can be notified of all future iRacing broadcasts. This is the first part of a doubleheader. Jacob Collins will be back tonight with the Indy Next Road Series Top Split, and they are where tonight, Jacob?
Interlagos, and it is very, very hot.
Rashad Craig going to move it to the outside of Leon Flugiker one more time. Is that more just to annoy Flugiker than anything else, Jacob?
Well, it's to make him think, right? You want to kind of put your car in a spot where the driver ahead's going to be like, well, is he going to pass me here or not? To put it simply. But, that gives maybe an opportunity to the car behind to maybe play a little bit of mind games with the driver ahead, maybe force them to adjust their line into the corner. It tends to work differently depending on the track, depending on the positioning. But it's kind of just getting in people's heads to really make them think of what you're going to do next.
Most certainly so. Rashad Craig, of course, a past champion in this series. He knows his way around, especially on the twisty bits, and Rashad giving it a good ride. 9th place. The leader? Well, the lead duo is the P1 Docs team of Alan Bruteau and Kevin Burrell. Bruteau still leads the general. It's been a steady 0.4 of a second, really, since the drop of the green flag. JT Smeaton runs along in third in the Luke Mansky Racing Esports machine, and there he is, the number one. Along in third, Anna Klimek. Anna the Deer is fourth, and there she is. The connection seems to have stabilized for Anna the Deer in the Taylor Mills Racing entry, and Logan Edwards for Luke Mansky Racing Esports goes along in fifth. PJ Sturgios is sixth. Sophia Connell is seventh, and there's Sophia in the second TMR entry. And then you've got the battle between Flugiker and Rashad Craig, 8th, 9th, and Blaze Andrich. There's Blaze. He is 10th. Titus Sherlock is 11th. Hunter Ingrab, 12th, and there's Hunter. Shady Ahmed strokes along in 13th. Will Weiser started this race shotgun on the field, 23rd. He's made up 9 spots to 14th. So there he is. Nigel Honiger runs along in 15th in the Arrow McLaren livery. 16th, David Hinger for In-N-Out Burgers. There he is. Robert Tang in the Leighton House colors. Now, that's one that we haven't seen in a while, Jacob. Robert Tang, last car in, number 23, is 17th. Tyler Green is 18th. Indy Kirkenbauer, having already made his pit stop for his first set of black primary tires, is 19th. Alistar Khan, Caleb Brashear, Michael Costello, and Alexander Miller are all out of this race due to contact. We're going to get back up to the front because the general is pulling to the inside of Alan Bruteau through the S's, and we've got a battle for the lead.
Yeah, Burrell going to make that move before the bus stop here. Tuck back into line and start trucking away ever so slightly from Bruteau here. We'll see if Kevin's able to start making a bound of momentum away from his fiercely forward teammate here as they head off through the boot.
Do you think that might be some sort of a tactical move there with pit stops upcoming, Jacob, or was that just Kevin seeing the opportunity and making the move?
Well, the way I see it is that you want to try to get that move in done early. It looked like Bruteau maybe had a bit of a struggle off turn one there, and that gave Kevin a perfect opportunity to kind of barrel down the straightaway and work his way forward.
I'll tell you what, don't look now, but JT Smeaton has snuck his way into this fight. There's the Luke Mansky Racing esports car of JT Smeaton. He is third, and he is pulling ever so slightly in on both the General Kevin Burrell and Alan Bruteau. He's snug in that draft. JT Smeaton is making a charge here, and there you see the two leaders. Kevin Burrell, fastest lap, minute 27:538. Incidentally, for our fans at home, the track record for IndyCars here is a minute 22:417, set by Scott Dixon in 2017. Of course, those were the Aero kit cars that just produced insane amounts of downforce. Jacob, minute 22 is pretty doggone quick here.
Yeah, certainly when you consider so much of this track is straightaway too, right?
Yeah, it most certainly is. Those cars, they looked kind of wild with. We're on board with JT Smeaton. They looked kind of wild They looked kind of wild, really, Jacob, to look at, but they were actually a little bit more slippery in the wind tunnel than even the Universal Aero kits we have now. Of course, Dallara wasn't worried about competing with anybody when they created this current version of the car, right? But they not only produced a ton of downforce, but they were pretty slick. I was meaning to mention as Alan Bruteau drops onto the pit lane, so he's the first of the leaders. Kevin Burrell, the general, he's going to go one more time. Everybody else, PJ Sturgios is in. And so we've got some takers at the front here. Kevin Burrell leads. We'll show you the pit entry when Kevin comes back around. But I wanted to tell everybody, stay tuned. Jacob Collins is going to be with you at what time, Jacob?
9 p.m. Eastern.
9 p.m. Eastern. Sophia Connell will be joining him, and they are going to have a fun time at a hot and sultry Interlagos. Tomorrow night, of course, is triple header night. It all starts with actually it's a quad race, isn't it? The fun begins at 7:15. We're going to have the INDYCAR Oval Series fixed top split, and that's going to be a double header from Talladega. The meme race double header night here on P1. Gary Godso will have the 7:15 and the 9:15 for you, both live here on P1. Jacob Collins, the Indy Next Oval Series is where?
Lucas Oil, Indianapolis Raceway Park.
Indianapolis Raceway Park, indeed. We're going to jump on board Kevin Burrell, and we'll show the fans at home the pit entry, but that'll happen at 8:30, and then at 9:30, join myself and Andrew Wood for the nightcap. We will have the Area 51 IndyCar Series at 9:30, and that is the oldest continuously running IndyCar Series in the sim. Burrell and Smeaton both have taken to pit road. That's going to hand the lead to
Hunter Engrave.
Hunter Engrave. He's gonna have one more. Everybody else on pit lane. David Hinger has not yet stopped. Now Hinger is not yet to pit lane, so we'll keep an eye on Hinger to see if he pulls it in. Indy Kirkenbauer has been out. Now here's the thing with Indy. Without the benefit of the draft, he has been almost a second to 2 seconds a lap, Jacob, slower at points than his competition. And so Indy may be feeling the effects of having pulled the alternate strategy. It's worth noting that the general came out ahead of Alan Bruteau, who short pitted him by a lap, and both of them are wearing the red alternate tires, Jacob.
Yeah, they're opting to use this middle portion of the race as an opportunity to get on these alternate tires and get those out of the way. If we're expecting a 7-lap run here, it's also a potential that they short-fueled the cars here to get out of a gap away from JT Smeaton, as the gap sits around 3 seconds and change. I'm suspecting that might have been the case. Yeah,
I would bet that they took just the minimum amount of fuel that they would need. It's really just a little bit over a half a tank, Jacob. That would gain them about a second on JT Smeaton. Of course, Smeaton, he came out on the black primary tires, as did Anna Klimek and as did Logan Edwards. Those three elected to do another stint on the blacks. So too Sophia Connell in 7th. Rashad Craig, though, in 8th. And there's your broadcast partner, Jacob. She's doing a phenomenal job in 7th spot. Rashad Craig runs along in 8th, and he is wearing the reds. So look for Rashad Craig to make a charge here in this middle run.
Yeah, and one thing to point out there is Rashad was able to get eventually by Leon Flugiger for that spot, so he'll line up 7th once Hunter Ingraff peels into the pit lane here. So see if that kind of this alternate strat for him will work out in his favor if he's able to reel maybe a car or two in ahead of him.
There's Hunter Ingraff. He has come off the pit lane. He is also wearing the red alternate tires. Leon Flugiger is in a fight with Blaze Andrich. Andrich draws alongside through the S's. He's got a nose ahead, and he'll take the spot into the bus stop, give Blaze Andrich 9th, and we'll demote Leon Flugiger to 10th.
Yeah, and the thing with that bus stop chicane here is just how fast the cars have to kind of contract against each other as they slow down and get ready to make it through that corner. You never know just how tight everybody's going to get compacted back together through that very, very high-speed chicane there, and that makes it very difficult to not only hit your marks, but make sure that you're not going to get potentially in the way or in the sight line of somebody else trying to make the same corner.
Yeah, make sure you don't hit the guy next to you. Anna Klimek with an outlap that was on fire has drawn near to JT Smeaton in 3rd, Jacob.
Yeah, gap sits around 3/4 of a second between those two. It's going to get a little bit shorter as they head down towards turn number 1 here. We'll see if Anna's able to make any sort of charge through the back portion of this track here as they'll head up through the S's.
Anna Klimek was 2 seconds, Jacob, 2 seconds quicker than JT Smeaton on her outlap. That's a big number, brother. So a big number for Anna Klimek on the outlap, and that has her snug in the draft of JT Smeaton. And it doesn't really matter with the tire differential. It doesn't really matter for a tire differential, Jacob. If you're in the draft, you can keep up here, right?
Well, you say that, but Rashad Craig has now hunted down Sophie Connell about 3/10 back, and he's on those alternate tires. So I'm wondering if he's trying to make hay as fast as possible, running those reds for whatever they're worth.
Yeah, he's only going to have to go about 4 more laps on him too. We're going to look at Rashad Craig. That's Taylor Mills Racing on Indy Alliance Racing and the Alliance. Both of them green cars, both of them slick-looking machines. Rashad Craig with the neon green and black, Sophia with the more muted green and black, but very similar looking hot rods. Rashad Craig, we're going to jump in his cockpit, see what we can see. I suspect we're going to see a move down at the end, either at the end of this straightaway, maybe not close enough, but certainly as we get to the bus stop one more time.
Yeah, all he's got to do is kind of get as close as he possibly can heading off the corner here and use the draft, use that push to pass, use the hybrid, try to boost his way alongside, and that might be all it takes for Rashad to take this 6th spot away.
You see the green lights blinking. He is on the button. Rashad Craig on the charge. Connell is not going to defend the preferred line. I think she knows the game is up, and she'll lift, and Rashad Craig goes through into the 6th spot, and we'll begin looking to see if he can't move on Logan Edwards. Edwards is about 1.8 seconds up the road from this fight. Do want to point out, and Clindy makes a great point in the chat. Also, Apex Chris doing some chatting. Welcome, Chris. But Clindy makes a good point. Hunter Ingraff may be Scott Dixoning everybody. And by that, he was able to go 1 lap longer than everybody else on that first run. We'll go ahead and grab Hunter Ingraff here. He was able to go 1 lap longer on that run. That means he gets to push those alternate tires that much harder because he can do 1 less lap on them, 1 fewer lap on them.
Well, it's also entirely possible he may have enough to try to fuel save the stint out, right? We saw him do maybe 17, 18 on the opening stint. There's only another lap that he has to try to make it around here. Now, it's entirely possible that's just a completely impractical number, and we're proposing a hypothetical for the sake of for thinking here, but
you're the man with the thinking cap, Jacob Collins. Is it possible to do this in one stop?
I would be hard pressed to think so, but stranger things have certainly happened, and it may be possible with some of the extra tools that these drivers have. Especially if he's kind of running in a little bit of an island. We saw him kind of enveloped in the draft, so that might play a huge factor as well if he's able to kind of keep that sort of that ability to his disposal.
Lap times don't really seem to show that he's saving fuel. He ran an identical lap time to the general Kevin Burrell up in the lead the last time, and Kevin Burrell, we'll put him up here real quick. Kevin Burrell has walked away from Alan Bruteau. 2 seconds is now the lead, and we're going to go ahead and put we're going to change from behind the leader to the gap to the next car, so the fans at home can see the nearest battle, which would be Leon Flugiker on Blaze Andrich. Although Andrich has made the pass, Flugiker has been able to hold on in the draft. Do want to thank everybody for joining in. If you haven't already done it, make sure you smash the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to P1 so that you too can be notified of all future iRacing action. Of course, we've got the Indy Next Series immediately following this one, 8:30 from a very hot Interlagos circuit tomorrow. It is a quadruple race here on P1. Doubleheader with the INDYCAR Fixed Oval Series starts at 7:15. They'll race at 7:15 and 9:15 from Talladega. You've got the Indy Next cars from Indianapolis Raceway Park at 8:30 in between. And the nightcap, the oldest continuously running INDYCAR Series in the service, Area 51. You can join Andrew Wood and I at 9:30 for that one. On Wednesdays, we have the Horizon INDYCAR Series as well as the Formula Indy Series. Those take place at 8 and 8:20 respectively. Check your listings on those. And then with the start of the NASCAR season, Speed Weeks, we'll have the AMA Outland Custom Arms Grand National Series and the AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series. Those will take place Thursday and Friday, 7:50 pre-race, 8:20 start. Saturdays, beginning with the start of the IndyCar season, it's one of our favorite times, Jacob. It's the iRacing IndyCar Series, and that'll start up with St. Pete, and so we're happy to have that back. That'll be at 2 o'clock on Saturdays. You've got the Classic IndyCar Series on Sundays. All kinds of fun stuff. The Votive IndyCar Series and the Dark Horse CW12 Series share Sunday nights at 8 o'clock. You can find a race just about any time you like here on P1. We are watching Leon Flugiker. He has continued to stalk Blaze Andrich here in what is the closest battle on the track. Andrich got past him, Jacob, but he hasn't been able to shake him. And here comes Leon. He's going to go to the outside, headed for the bus stop. Is Andrich going to contest it? I think he lifted there, Jacob. But he's going to take the move back, pull the crossover. Flugiker goes off the road. He'll have to line that up and try it again. I think the red tires for Blaze Andrich may just about be toast.
Yeah, you only really get a couple laps out of those things in their proper, pristine condition, and then they start to really, really show their age very, very quickly, and that's likely what Blaze is having to fight. He gets loose through the toe there.
Yeah, we saw that from on board Leon Flugiker. Flugiker fires it down the inside, and he will gain the position on Blaze Andrich, and it would not surprise me 6 laps into this run, coming to get 7, being in the pit window if Blaze Andrich doesn't come swap out and put on a set of new Firestone Firehawks. His alternates appear to just about be toast, Jacob.
Yeah, and he's going to pull down the pit lane here.
Yes, he will. The next best battle on the track is right here. Rashad Craig has caught Logan Edwards. Rashad Craig has caught.
Go ahead.
He's caught him, and he is on older alternates. Rashad Craig, 7 laps, same age as Blaze Andrich, who had used up the good. These are both members of what is called colloquially the Alliance, and so you would think maybe similar setups on those two cars. But Rashad Craig is making the red tires last here, Jacob.
Well, some of this, too, might just be helped by Rashad's been able to stay in the draft longer. We saw Blaze kind of end up in front on his own, and maybe Rashad's just been able to kind of back the corner up a lot more, keep the tire underneath him a little bit better, and maintain the distance between himself and Logan Edwards. We saw that early pass this stint for him between himself and Sophie Connell, and he's kind of just been able to slowly inch his way forward by working through the draft of the cars ahead here.
Yes, we did. There's Rashad Craig as he follows Logan Edwards, working lap 24 of 37. If you haven't already done it, make sure you smash the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to P1 so that you can get an alert every time we go live. And we've got something cooking in an IndyCar most every day of the week here on P1. So we definitely appreciate that if you're so inclined. These broadcasts are not free, and believe me, after having to dig deep into the pocketbook to redo my computer. These are not cheap to do either. I'd like to thank Dell for that, but we've got the computer problems cleaned up. We got the internet problem cleaned up too, Jacob. But if you'd like to contribute to the cause, there is a GoFundMe link in the chat description as well. We're watching Rashad Craig as he works on Logan Edwards. I think the alternates on that number 8 Indy Alliance machine might just be past their sell-by date, Jacob.
Yeah, he started to fall away off the back of Logan Edwards here, and I think he knew that his biggest opportunity was going to be staying in this draft with Edwards. We'll see if he opts to come down the pit lane sooner rather than later, if he's going to try to stretch these as long as he possibly can get into that final stint here.
Well, with 13 laps to go, you would think, and being able to make it 15 on the primaries, you would think that Rashad Craig might hit pit lane sooner rather than later. He is not going to go for it this time, though. Rashad Craig going to stay out on those worn alternate tires. Hunter Ingrave is now 8th. Do want to point out, Indy Kirkenbauer has made his stop for he's made his final stop for the primary tires. So too has PJ Sturgios. Blaze Andrich has made his final stop. And now we just kind of wait, don't we, Jacob?
Yeah, we'll see kind of as the strategy board shakes out, if you will, as to who's going to be able to come out on top here tonight. And it might not fully play out until the checkered flag's out.
It may not. Kevin Burrell, the general, and there he is. He is leading the charge. He's got the 22 of Tyler Green ahead of him. PJ Sturgios 2 laps down. Tyler Green is bidding to stay on that lead lap, but I don't know that he's going to be able to keep a rapid Kevin Burrell behind him. And what's amazing is that Kevin has been able to keep those red alternate tires underneath him. He's 9 laps in. As you ride in his right eyeball, he's 9 laps in, and he's going to go for another, make it 10.
And that might just play testament as to what Kevin's been able to do here at the front of the field, right? He's gotten this gap, and all he has to do now is just kind of maintain distance between himself and teammate Alan Berteau. And that's not a bad spot to be in, right? You can kind of control the race, control the pace, and you don't really have to worry about just how hard you need to push the tire, because you're dictating the rate at which things are going.
Most certainly are. There's the general, Kevin Burrell, P1 docks on the side of that Dallara. You can see in the background, that is a lap car. That is Tyler Green. Alan Berteau has staked himself to a solid second place. There's Berteau. Like Kevin Burrell, Alan Berteau is on the red alternate tires. There he is. JT Smeaton for Luke Mansky Racing Esports is another 2 seconds back. And JT Smeaton, Jacob, is on a different strategy. He has not yet run the alternate tires.
I think the big thing for JT is going to be determining if he's able to work his way into the draft window of the cars ahead through the pit strategy here, right? He's kind of sitting a little bit outside of that window, 1.7 plus odd seconds back, depending on where you catch him on the track. I think the big thing here is going to be, can he close in that gap, get in and get out of the pit lane and kind of work his way forward once the strategy starts to go away. And Burrell, issues for Burrell, or is he down the pit lane?
Kevin Burrell is on the pit lane. He'll give up the lead, come in and make his final stop. JT Smeaton, the last time through, was a full second quicker than Alan Berteau. A full second, and he had been gaining on the leader, Kevin Burrell, as well. As you're right on the roll hoop, JT Smeaton looking to get to the outside of Tyler Green. He'll do so. But Berteau needs to be careful here, because if he allows Smeaton to catch him, Jacob, with the tire differential at the end, Alan Berteau might be in pretty bad shape. Those alternates for those 5 or 6 golden laps are worth 2 seconds a lap. But they have also definitely crossed over, Jacob.
Well, the thing I'm noticing is Kevin's back out there on another set of alternates. So what I'm suspecting they're trying to do here is stretch this middle alternate stint just long enough where they can get back out on another set of alternates and try to go toe-to-toe with Smeaton on a set of his alternate change.
That may be. And then if you're Smeaton, what do you do? Do you come in and get your reds early and try to cover him off, or do you wait? He is now caught Alan Berteau. Last time through, 128.673 for Berteau, 127.807 for JT Smeaton. He is coming, Jacob Collins, and he is coming quick.
There's going to be a lap car between them now as they head down the back straightaway here. But I think ultimately that what Smeaton wants here is to be as close as Berteau as possible to try to get down the pit lane and work his way forward in the closing stages here.
Yeah, great point from Chris in the chat. Alan's kind of played the team game. He might still be second. He may be third as we watch JT Smeaton continue the charge. But he's basically guaranteed the general Kevin Burrell. He's basically guaranteed Kevin Burrell the win here.
Well, there are no guarantees in life, Mark.
Well, that's true. But we'll see. Luke Mansky Racing Esports chimes in. JT's giving him a shot. If he can work around Berteau here, I suspect that they will immediately pit and cover one another off, and then it's going to be down to can they run down Kevin Burrell. And Alan Berteau has finally called it quits. He's decided to pit for his alternate Smeaton, or for his last set. Smeaton is staying out one more time, Jacob.
Yeah, a gap between himself and Burrell is 25 seconds and change. I believe that's going to basically put them right on top of each other come the end of the pit cycle here, if my math is to be believed. So we'll just have to see how close JT winds up coming out of the pit lane here before the end of this one.
Well, it's 8 laps to go. The next time through, it'll be 7 to go. We know the alternates are good for 5 or 6. Do you stay out knowing that Kevin Burrell is out there running around 2 seconds quicker, Jacob?
Well, that's the risk too, right? Is at some point you're going to get the 2 seconds back, and they might be, only a second down on that. So the math will go back to mathing at some point, and it'll cancel each other out. But ultimately, that's kind of the gamble you're playing here. It's just how long do you risk trying to stay out on these primary tires to get through here.
We're about to find out. JT Smeaton working himself back through turns number 9 down to 10. We're going to see if he's going to stop this time or if JT Smeaton is going to go one more lap on those primary tires. He's going to stay out, Jacob.
Yeah, another time around for Mr. Smeaton. We'll see if he comes down this next time around. You have to think that he's going to get down there sooner rather than later at this rate, especially with just how fast Berteau and Burrell will be on those fresh alternates.
I'm going to tell you what, Jacob, he is leaning on that push-to-pass button. 127.215 that time. Burrell, 126.8. And so Smeaton is running hot laps. But he is burning his push to pass to do it. The thing about it is that Kevin Burrell only has 57 seconds left in his tank, and Alan Berteau has got 102 seconds. And so JT Smeaton, even though he's leaning on the button to try to extend the life of his primary tires and run some fast laps, he's using money from the bank, so to speak.
Yeah, he's gone through about half of his push to pass here already. Certainly going to be difficult, it's going to be pretty easy to hold on to a good bit of that for the closing portion of the stint here. The real question is has he used too much trying to make this stint last as long as it has compared to what he could gain if he was maybe on alternate tires trying to push for that final couple laps?
Maybe, Jacob. We're going to see. He goes one more time, make it 6 laps to go. JT Smeaton is your leader. Anna Klimek second. Logan Edwards is now second. Edwards and Klimek, it should be noted, Jacob, have both seen some connection gremlins. It's worth mentioning with the inclement weather across most of the eastern United States and Midwestern United States, the internet can be a spotty thing. You and I kind of talked about it earlier. The connection for me to the house was not working so well, so I'm doing this from a cell phone hotspot, which that's worked out pretty good, hasn't it, Jacob? I think
more or less. It looks like Klimek got sent down the pit lane for one reason or another. Looks like she drove down there of her own volition. Not sure if she had damage or what was going on there.
Well, she had needed to make her final stop anyway.
Right, okay.
Yeah. She needed to make her final stop. Smeaton, Edwards, Connell, Flugaker, and Shady Ahmed are the only cars that have not yet pitted, and we would anticipate JT Smeaton any time now. 15 laps on his current run. His last lap was half a second quicker than Kevin Burrell, though. So Smeaton is plenty quick, and he's going to pull it in. And this is going to be the race, and it's going to be close, Jacob.
Yeah, this is the money stop. We'll see just how far back he is. Burrell's going to be closing in. Gap's going to be around 15 seconds as I'm done speaking here. We'll see if Smeaton can get down and through the pit lane here fast enough to mount the charge here late in the going.
I think that Chris's calculations from the chat are going to be about right. Smeaton's going to come down 10 seconds, come out here about 10 seconds down, and then it's going to be up to JT Smeaton to close that gap on the general Kevin Burrell. Logan Edwards also brings it down the pit lane. Smeaton is gone, and he is going to come out just ahead of the lap machine of PJ Sturgios. Smeaton is now third. He is 5.7 seconds adrift of the general Kevin Burrell, 3.7 seconds to Alan Berteau. Weaves as he gets toward the inner loop. And the race is on, Jacob.
Yeah, he's got about 4 laps, and if he's, got a second on these guys, he's going to have to make quick do of Berteau to even mount a challenge for Kevin for the win here.
He most certainly will. Kevin Burrell has that 6.4 second lead over JT Smeaton. Smeaton desperately trying to get the red tires, the alternate tires, to warm up here so that he can mount the charge. Uses up all the road and then some. Coming out of the toe there as he heads for the heel of the boot up toward turn number 9. The chute down to 10. Can JT Smeaton reel in the fiercely forward combo of Kevin Burrell and Alan Berteau? He can see Berteau, but it's another 3.5 seconds up the road to Kevin from there.
Yeah, I just caught the unfortunate break for Sophie Connell heading out on the final stint on those alternate tires, heading through the bus stop, got loose, sent it backwards into the outside wall. Night done for the driver of the 21 machine. Very, very tough break late in the going here.
It most certainly is. Let's see if we can gin up a replay of the accident for Sophia Connell. Here you go. Here's Sophie. She's actually racing with Hunter Ingrav. Hits the curves just a little bit wrong, and I don't know, Jacob. There might have been a little bit of contact. It's like a funnel over there. Ingrav and Connell may have touched, and Sophie gets sent into the wall. We're gonna get back to JT Smeaton though. He is coming, Jacob. He's already chopped a second out of the lead for Kevin Burrell. Can he make up what essentially would be about 1.2 seconds a lap?
Well, we'll have to see this time by just how big the gap is. You know, the gap to Berteau is about 1.5 seconds, going to be 1.25 seconds likely before this lap ends. It's going to give him maybe just enough time to get there, but getting there and passing are two different situations.
Especially when you've got a veteran, a pro like Kevin Burrell, it can be very difficult. It'd be very difficult to get by him, and he's only really going to maybe have, if he gets there, one crack at it. Fast lap 1:26.004 for JT Smeaton. He is coming, but does he have the time with 3 laps to go? It is now 3.9 seconds to the lead and just a second up the road to Alan Berteau, and Smeaton has the tire advantage, and he is coming, Jacob.
Yeah, he's going to be trying to mount this charge in a hurry, likely going to maybe even make the pass before turn 1 this next time around.
Yeah, he doesn't want to waste
how early JT has to make the move.
Yeah, he doesn't want to waste any time here, does he, Jacob? He wants to get by and get gone as quickly as he can. We'll jump on board the roll hoop, JT Smeaton, as he battles for second here with Alan Berteau. And can he get past Berteau? And then he'd have 2 laps to catch the general, Kevin Burrell. The gap now 3 seconds to Kevin.
Smeaton looks to the outside, heading back onto the NASCAR layout. He's going to look to the outside here.
Well, Berteau covered him off. Side by side they go. You were on board. JT Smeaton makes the move on Alan Berteau. The tire advantage told for JT Smeaton. He'll make it to second, but he's got 3.5 seconds and 2 laps to do it to get to the general.
We'll just have to see if those alternate tires can hold on just long enough here for Smeaton to mount the charge on Burrell. Gap sits just over 3 seconds. We'll see as they work down the back straightaway how close that gets.
We will see indeed. JT Smeaton is on the charge. He was 0.7 of a second quicker that last lap. That is not going to be enough. He is trying to run down one of the best in the business, and Kevin Burrell, can he do it? He's got about 1.5 laps yet to go. JT Smeaton is on the charge. Burrell is just trying to outlast that charge. The problem for Burrell, Jacob, is he has been on his alternate tires for 8 laps, and they'll be 10 laps old by the time this thing is over, and that is well outside of the operating window.
Yeah, that's the big advantage for Smeaton here. Gap sits about 2.5 seconds here between himself and Burrell. I think if we're going to get a pass here, it's going to come in the final closing moments of the final lap here. Just as we said, it ain't over until the checkered flag flies.
It is not, and if that move happens, it's likely going to come turn 10, turn 11 on the last lap. And how many famous battles have we seen at Watkins Glen that ended up that way? Smeaton files through turn number 11 past the pit entrance. White flag is in the air. JT Smeaton, the last time through, 1:26.649, 1.5 seconds. That's going to leave him about 0.5 seconds off if that continues this time through. The general, Kevin Burrell, is your leader in the Fiercely Forward machine by P1 Docks. And there's Kevin. And there's JT Smeaton, and you can see him. The lead is about the length of the back straight here.
Yeah, they'll both navigate that bus stop chicane for the final time. Gap about 1 3/4 now. We'll see if Smeaton's able to gain anything through the boot here to mount that final charge on Kevin Burrell.
Yeah, we're going to see. Kevin Burrell is your leader. The general trying to bring home one more win. Burrell a second and a half clear of Smeaton as he works through the heel of the boot up to turn number 9. This is a left-hander. This is one of the hardest corners on the course, and this is where the tire advantage is really big for Smeaton. He's able to get the drive off that corner down to 1 second, but it's not going to be enough. Kevin Burrell is going to come through at turns 10 and 11. He's going to see Barney with a checkered flag in his hand. Kevin Burrell is going to win the Indy Open top split at Watkins Glen. JT Smeaton comes home second, and Alan Berteau, he'll make it home in third ahead of a charging Anna Klimek. Logan Edwards will be fifth. Whew. Jacob, I'm out of breath. One more lap, JT Smeaton would have had it. As we see the rest of the cars come through, I always like to do this, Jacob. Every time I finish a road race, I feel like I've accomplished something, let alone win one. So give the guys and gals their due as they come through here. We've got Indy Kirkenbauer. There's Indy. He'll file home in 11th. Big night for Indy Kirkenbauer. That's up 9 spots. Robert Tang is going to be just behind him. Here comes Robert, and David Hinger will be your final finisher.
Props to him.
I'll tell you what,
the lead lap.
They're better drivers than me, that's for certain sure. It doesn't take much, though, to be a better driver than me on a road course, does it, Jacob?
Perhaps not.
You said it. For the win, it's going to be the general, Kevin Burrell. Fiercely forward with P1 Docks, leads home Luke Mansky Racing Esports and JT Smeaton. 0.8 of a second. One more lap, Jacob, and he might have had it. Alan Berteau will round out the podium. In fourth, it's Anna Klimek. Logan Edwards will finish fifth. Rashad Craig, Hunter Ingraff, Leon Flugiker, Blaze Andrich, and Shady Ahmed are going to complete your top 10. In 11th, it's going to be Indy Kirkenbauer. Robert Tang is 12th. David Hinger, 13th. Tyler Green, 14th. PJ Sturgios, an appearance for him. The number 3, he will bring it home in 16th or 15th spot. Sophia Connell is 16th. Titus Sherlock, 17th. Neil Honiger, 18th. Will Weiser, 19th. And Alistar Khan, classified 20th and out of the race. 21st, Caleb Brashear, after he went on his lid. Michael Costello, 22nd. And Alexander Miller, shotgun on the field in 23rd. 23-car field, 4,800 SOF, and it was a dandy, Jacob.
Watkins Glen usually delivers.
It most certainly delivered here and in this moment, and we're going to see if we've got some drivers to talk to in the waiting room. We've got all of them. How about that, Jacob?
Hooray!
Hooray! Alan Berteau, you've got Murph, and you've got Jacob Collins in the P1 broadcasting booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, copy.
So you led a little bit there at the beginning. You and Kevin got by you at the end of the first stint. And then you guys, more or less, Kevin slowly drew away. Was there anything in the tank for the general there, or was it just about the fight with Smeaton? Sorry.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised to lead as many laps. I think JT gave me the lap, and Kevin just overtook him, and it helped him to save an extra lap. And I was not faster than Kevin, so yeah, we made a strategy on the go that was a bit weird sometimes, but in the end it worked, and yeah, we were very happy with these results.
Hey, anytime you can finish on the podium in a 4,800 something strength of field race, that's a pretty good day at the office, Alan. Congratulations on that, Jacob. What do you have for the bottom step of the podium today?
Yeah, we kind of saw the battle of the tire strategies play out towards the end of this race here. Did you ever feel like in the middle portion of that race, running those alternates long might come back to bite come the end of the race with how fast that Smeaton was able to close on the primaries there?
Yeah, to be honest, we didn't really know what strategy to use. So we got primed, then arts, and we saw that we could extend the alternate stints. And I saw that Anna was came in back, was closing the gap, and that was my main opponent. So yeah, I was just there to go fast, and we didn't really know what was the best strategy.
Well, I'll tell you what, Alan. Anytime you finish on the podium in one of these, and you know it well, anytime you finish on the podium in one of these, you've done a full shift. Great run tonight. You finish on the podium, and with that, you're an old hand at this. You get to the podium, you get the mic. Friends, family, sponsors, shout outs. The floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah, I thank Kevin, especially for the setup that we made and the many stints that he helped to build the setup. So that was very good week for us. So thanks to him, very good win.
Absolutely, Alan. Well, thank you so much for stopping in. Keep going fast and having fun, buddy. We'll see you at the next one.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. That is Alan Bruteau. Alan, former series champion, and he is always fun to talk to. He gets to go to bed, Jacob. Um, it's getting. Is it early or late in France?
It'd be early in the morning, I'd presume.
It'd be early in the morning. There you go. For the second spot, it's a driver that we have not had the pleasure of talking to here on the P1 Broadcasting Channel. It's JT Smeaton. JT, you've got Murph and you've got Jacob Collins in the P1 Broadcasting booth. You hear us? You hear us good, my man?
Yeah, it's all good.
I'll tell you what. What a debut. You you sit on the pole and the two fiercely forward cars get by you early. Was that a matter of saving your stuff? Were you trying to stretch it long on fuel? Kind of walk us through the early part of this race because you mounted
Yeah.
one heck of a charge at the end.
Yeah, it was yeah, my plan originally was to try to fuel save a bit and go the 16 laps, but then I realized that at that point it was more important to just stay in the draft. So I think ultimately that's what maybe costed me there at the end. But yeah, my goal was to initially just fuel save and try to get them in the pits. But with the big train behind, I knew that it was important to stay in the draft. So yeah, lesson learned for next time. But yeah, it was a really fun time.
Absolutely, Jacob Collins.
Yeah, did you feel like maybe there was an opportunity early on in the race to make an opportunity to maybe switch up the strategy you put yourself on? Obviously, going a bit longer on the fuel tank maybe helped in being able to make that alternate stint shorter at the end, but it looked like maybe it was just a case of having not enough laps to mount that final charge on Kevin come the ending stages there. So you feel like you maybe could have played the deck a bit differently tonight to get that extra half second or just under a full second here tonight?
Yeah, totally. I think it just comes down to staying in the draft. I was just out of it at the first stint, so I think that's what costed me. But yeah, I mean, from the start, I knew that alternates would pretty much die out, so that's why I opted to go for the two stints on the primaries. I still think that that was the right decision, but yeah, I mean, it's just fine margins, and yeah, I think if I had an extra lap, there might have been an opportunity. But yeah, it was a good race by Fiercely Ford. They did a great job, and good teamwork by them. But yeah, lesson learned for next time. So yep.
I was going to say if this was 38 laps instead of 37, you might very well be standing on the top step of that podium. But congratulations on
Possibly.
congratulations on a fine run, nonetheless. With the podium here at P1, you get the microphone. Friends, family, sponsors, shout them out, my man.
Yeah, big shout out to my team, Luke Mansky Racing Esports. I recently just joined them and been trying to get into the swing of things. So I always appreciate, their tips, their support. So big thank you to them. And of course, big shout out to my family as well. Always appreciate their support as well. So yeah, I couldn't have done it without everybody. So yeah, really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you. We appreciate you stopping in. Keep going fast and having fun, buddy, and we will see you at the next one.
You guys take care.
Absolutely. That is JT Smeaton. He is the second place finisher tonight. For the winner, we're gonna get the General Kevin Burrell. We need to
Heyo.
key up a replay of your hot rod. It was fast tonight, Kevin. You got Murph, you got Jacob Collins in the P1 broadcasting booth. Talk to us about your night, my man. You was it a matter of letting Alan get out there and kind of tow you around? Were you guys racing for it? What was the score? Because once you got by, you ran off.
Yeah, I mean, he had good pace at that point, and like I think I was driving fast and could not really, it didn't seem like I could get an insane run on him, at least without burning way too much P2P or something when JT was still behind. And I mean, I think the only reason, well, I'm not really sure why I got away as much after that. But yeah, I mean, that was the plan. Was well. As it turns out, his pace was fast enough for me. I mean, he outqualified me, and he was able to drive around, without slowing us down at all until the point at which I passed him. But yeah, I mean, it was just, maybe I think we maybe messed up a couple things. I think we probably, as Christian had told me, I think I should have let Alan through out of the pits probably. And I think our initial swap was, it basically let GT back into the draft, which was not ideal. But hey, the pace was at least really good, and we didn't choke it. Made it through the bus stop 37 times, which is no small task, I might add.
No, I don't think. Well, you've seen me road race. I don't think I could make it through there 3.7 times. So
I actually do think it's better now, because you can't really you can take the old line, but it's so sketchy and not really any faster. This, at least to me, feels a little more consistent, but it's just hard to get rid of the muscle memory from the way it used to be. So yeah, it's a little scary.
for sure, Jacob.
Yeah, it kind of came down to the late charge from JT at the end there. How much kind of went into your head as to if that was going to turn out to be a genuine possibility? Were you just kind of trying to run the laps down as fast as humanly possible while keeping the tires underneath you?
Yeah, I mean, I knew that it would probably be hard for Alan to do much serious defending at that point, just because he would, JT would have an insane advantage at that point. So I mean, our testing initially, it showed that actually, this was the strat to use. I don't know if it really was. I don't know if I just drove the stint of my life in testing or something, but yeah, I mean, it was definitely, it was more of a comeback at the end than I expected, and that could have been really bad. I mean, I think if we had maybe used the right strat, Alan maybe could have held on. GT maybe wouldn't have gotten through, but live and learn, I guess. I guess.
Anytime you can put two cars on a podium, that's a good day at the office, Kevin.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a good day.
JT and Anna are really fast, so when I saw that, I saw that they were near us at the start. I was like, man, we've really got to just try and get out front right away and just use all the pace we can in the first stint, break draft, and I mean, I guess we threw it away by swapping each other, but yeah, tough.
Tell you what, great run tonight for you, Kevin. You know the drill, my man. You've done this before. Friends, family, sponsors, shout-outs. It's on you.
Good to be back on top at the Glen. Always, it's one of my favorite tracks. Yeah, obviously, shout-outs to Fiercely Forward. All the guys put some time in on this, and Alan found some really, really good magic clicks midweek. I think made the car a lot better. And yeah, I mean, it's been good. Of course, my family as well. I know they're probably watching and like, yeah, that's been a while since I've had a good result like this. So yeah, I mean, and of course to you guys for the great broadcasts. Really looking forward to IIS this year. I mean, it's it's not that long away now. It's like barely a month, right? I mean, that's crazy. We're really coming up on IIS, so it's my favorite series, of course. So I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Well, Kevin, thank you so much for stopping in. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
joining us, not only on the track but in the booth. Keep going fast and having fun, buddy.
Thanks. Yeah, see you around.
Yes, sir. That is the General Kevin Burrell. He comes home as your winner tonight. And Jacob, man, I tell you what, one more lap, right?
Well, it's a game of coulda, woulda, shoulda, Mark. The advertised distance is the advertised distance, and you gotta account for that sometimes.
You most certainly do. Do want to thank everybody for tuning in. We had another big time audience tonight here on P1, and I certainly do want to thank all the fans in the stands. If you haven't already done it, make sure you do hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to P1, so that you can see all of our great upcoming iRacing action right here on P1. Just a little bit later tonight, Jacob Collins is going to be heading to what I am told is the surface of the sun, also known as Interlagos. That'll be at 9 o'clock for the Indy Next Road Series Top Split. Tomorrow night, we're going to have 4 races. It's a doubleheader in the INDYCAR Oval Series from Talladega Super Speedway. That starts at 7:15. At 8:30, Jacob Collins will be back with the Indy Next Oval Series from Lucas Oil at Raceway in Indianapolis Raceway Park. And then the nightcap, it's the Area 51 INDYCAR Series. Andrew Wood and I will bring you that one 9:30 from Atlanta. And then, Jacob, and then we get a break. The next race on P1 is going to be Sunday, February 1st with the Classic INDYCAR Series. Their transition season live at 3 o'clock. That is Sunday at 3. And then the nightcap, Sunday, the Dark Horse CW12 Series presented by 4D Racewear. They're going to be live from Charlotte. Check that out. That's going to be fun. Did you know that they have never gone there in that series, Jacob?
There's a first time for everything.
9 seasons, 9 years that that series has been going. The oldest DW12 series in the service. And Dark Horse is going to Charlotte, so look forward to that one. Again, do want to thank all the drivers, the competitors, for making this so much fun to do. Do want to thank the fans in the stands. You guys were lively, you were chatting it up, and we do appreciate that as well. Do also want to thank the people that really make this possible: the military, the police, the firemen, the EMTs driving the ambulance, and Jacob, the nurse that unloads you when they get you there. From the bottom of our hearts, we thank you all. We will see you in half an hour for the Indy Next Road Top Split from Interlagos.